I decided I'm going to continue with my Emily Henry journey, and we're going to read Book Lovers. I've already rated one of her books 5 stars, so I have hope. Okay, so I've read 2 Emily Henry books so far, and I was just not in the mood for anything too deep and too serious, so I decided I was gonna read a little romance. This is gonna be, and don't click away, it's gonna be a spoiler reading vlog for book lovers. So since this is gonna be a spoiler reading vlog, I'm gonna include a little section at the end for a non-spoiler review, just in case you haven't read this book and you just want to hear some thoughts about it and kind of how I felt and how maybe you will feel if you read it, if we have similar reading tastes. That's something I'm going to be implementing from now on, I think. Listen, I love to yap about books, and I love to share reactions and thoughts about books when I'm reading them in the moment, and I just don't want to be restricted by non-spoiler vlog. So I thought this way you can win, I can win, and you can just hear thoughts without risking spoilers. So yeah, let me know if you like the new format. Just for a little background before we get into the vlog, Book Lovers is a romance book written by Emily Henry. I do have faith in Emily Henry. I didn't like one of her books, and I rated the other book 5 stars, so it's kind of a 50-50 chance of whether I like this book or not. But this one is about Nora and Charlie. Nora's a literary agent. She's known more as a cutthroat kind of person, and she agrees to go to Sunshine Falls with her sister as a sister trip. And on this trip, they have kind of like a checklist of everything that they want to do based on this book that actually comes from one of Nora's clients. So on this trip, Nora keeps bumping into Charlie, and she knows him from the city. They live in New York. He's an editor, and they've met on a few occasions, and they've never really gotten along like that. So that's what we're dealing with. A little trip, checklist, and an editor who she's never really gotten along with. So that's the premise of this book. We're gonna see how we like it, and yeah. So I'm gonna have chapters at the bottom. I'll also include a timestamp just in case. So you can just click to the non-spoiler review if you don't want any spoilers at all, and we can go from there. If not, just keep watching the vlog and come with me. Okay, bye. Hello, it's me. I'm in Florida, but on my way to Miami. I packed Book Lovers, so I started this on the plane, but I kept falling asleep because I was up at 4 o'clock in the morning. So yeah, we're on page 16 right now. First thoughts is that I think it's gonna be like an enemies to lovers. We just met, I'm guessing, the love interest, which is Charlie, and he doesn't really get along with our protagonist, which I forgot her name, which is why I'm not naming her. Nora? Is that right? Correct! So that's my initial thoughts. I hope this one is gonna go well. I'm interested, which is great. So yeah, let's get reading. Hello! I read some Emily Henry yesterday, and I just kind of want to talk you through what I've been reading and what the updates are and like where I am, etc., you know? So I'm whipping her out. I'm not that far into it. I'm only on page 58. We met the love interest, because I feel like we met him, but I wasn't completely sure. So Nora, she's in the publishing industry. She's in publishing. She's an agent. And she is right now on a trip with her sister going to Sunshine Falls, which is a town that she read about in a book from one of her authors. It was a really popular book, and her sister was really into it, and she was like, we should just go away, you and me, like go to this town, see what happens, and just kind of go there. And the thing is that Nora and her multiple boyfriends have broken up with her, just because they keep going away on trips and they keep meeting other people, and they just basically like meet other people and move on from her, which is like, I don't think I survive with that happening multiple times. Like, I'd never recover. But she's unfazed. She's like, this is like typical. So she's like totally okay. She's not totally okay with it, but you know, she's like not heartbroken about it. She's like, okay, well, I'm done, move on. Like, I get it. You met somebody else and you're just gonna leave me for her. So that's just kind of the situation she's dealing with. So 2 years ago, or 3 years ago, something like that, she was broken up with by her boyfriend who went out of town. And she was on her way to meet with this other guy, okay? Her love interest. And the thing is that she showed up late because, you know, she got the call that she was being broken up with, and she was like in a really bad mood. But she thought this guy like hated her because he was being like rude, and she was like, he was like, oh, like you're late, like looking at his watch, like why are you late? Like, this is like a business meeting, why are you so late? And so she took the wrong way. She thought that he hated her, and you know, they just didn't get along right away. So suddenly on this trip that she's taking with her sister, after like 2 to 3 years, she sees him in a coffee shop, but she wasn't completely sure it was him. So she emails him, and it turns out that it is him, because, you know, she's emailing him back and forth, and after she emails him, he picks up his phone and he replies. And then, you know, so she's trying to deduce whether this man is who she thinks he is, and he is. So now, ew, that made me stop. But now, you know, she's in this town. She's deduced that this man is in this town, even though this man did not like the book. It was like a whole thing. They were going back and forth about it. You know this. I feel like I'm talking to you about this, so you already know what I'm saying. Like, you've read this. If not, then you like spoilers and you want me to just talk about it. What was I saying? No, yeah, they're going back and forth, and they're getting kind of flirty with each other. They're talking about like nicknames that other people have for them. So he's like the storm cloud and she's the shark. And he was saying, oh, like, you want to attack me or something like that. And well, wait, let me quote this. Well, he was talking about the last time they met 2 years ago and how he didn't make it to the flight, which is why he was kind of like looking at his watch saying you're late. And she was like, did you make it? And he goes, no, got distracted by 2 gin martinis and a platinum blonde shark who wanted me dead. Not dead, I say. Lightly mauled maybe, but I would have stayed away from your face. Didn't realize you were a fan, he writes. Is he flirting? He is. Am I? I'm bored, yes, but not that bored. Never that bored. She deflects. Just trying to watch out for your eyebrows. As if. You know, I never thought I'd be really that into romance, but like, it's just the drama and the back and forth that gets to me. And I hope, listen, I hope it's slow burn, because I live off slow burn all the time. Like, when they're together, I get bored. I've said this before. I feel like I should stop saying it, but I do get bored, which is why I loved Funny Stories so much. Like, they didn't get together until like the end, you know? I just want a story with depth, slow burn, and good and developed characters. That's all I can hope for. So we're gonna see how Book Lovers goes. Hello. Okay, listen. It's been 2 weeks or so, a little bit more, a little bit less. Not less. Honestly, it's been probably 2 to 3 weeks, and 2 to 3, maybe 2. I don't. 2 to 3. Still not done. And I'm gonna tell you why. Okay, I want to update you on kind of where I'm at with the book. I'm on page 284. I'm gonna tell you what's happened so far and what I'm dealing with at the moment with this book. The last time I checked in with you, I just kind of want to update you on everything. I kind of write things down as I go along when I haven't recorded in a while. So Nadine is now working on this book with Charlie, so they're kind of collaborating on everything. They made out also. At the time, I was excited about it, but I'll get into that in a minute. It was ending to happen. I feel like we, you know, tension, but you know, tension was released, okay? And we figure out that Nora's been staying at Charlie's parents' cabin. So usually that's where he stays, and he's stuck at his parents' house in his old room. So that's kind of the tie-ins. Okay, Now we get to banter. At the beginning, I was down for this banter. I really liked the back and forth between both of them. It was like they were the same person, you know, just like going back and forth. And that's kind of like, you know, they're like the same person. They're supposed to be really good together. The banter as of right now, I'm not into it anymore. I'm finding it a little bit annoying, I guess. Oh, I didn't mean, okay, because I have them working on editing a new book, but this is about the book that they're editing. Okay, so basically Nadine was like feeling bad because the book that her client sent her is kind of based off her like not being a very like warm person, and she was making all of these comparisons between her and the character in the book, and that's kind of when Charlie like comforts her, and then they make out later in the day. But that's what kind of happens there, and now they're just working on editing this book together and seeing how that process goes. I have things I want to talk about, but I'm going to save that to the end of my whole summary because this comes after the fact. Libby, Nadine's sister, kind of made a profile for her on a dating app, and she set her up with this guy. Ugh. And he lied about his height, complained about her height and her being like tall, and he was like, oh, like that means you have like big feet. Sorry. And he was basically asking her if she could cook, and she was like, no, I don't really cook, like asking her over and over and over again. And she kind of like asked him what he was drinking, or if he was gonna have something. He was like, no, I don't drink. And him asking her over and over again if she could cook, it was funny because he was being really annoying about that. But Nadine asks him like 2 times what he's drinking. He's like, I don't drink. And he acts all weird about it, like, I've told you like a million times now that I don't drink, like why are you asking me this question type of behavior. Like, and you're asking her if she can cook over and over again. Like, do you think the answer's gonna change? Like, what? Why are we not having the same energy on both these things? Like, then that same day as this date, we find out that Charlie has an ex who is the bartender at the bar that they were going to, and they were kind of like engaged, and they broke up. And at the time you think like there's a possible like rekindlement situation happening, but I don't know how that's gonna work out. I really don't think that's gonna be something that happens, but that's just something that is kind of important to his backstory, that he was like engaged at one point and then he just didn't get married. Then I noted that Libby was just kind of there. She wasn't really doing anything. That she has like a little bit of a story like right now, but I mean before she was just kind of there to be there and for an excuse for them to go to this town in the first place. But I'm gonna get to my problems on this. It's a me problem more than a book problem. But I'm on page 284, and I've mentioned this before, but I really hate when the couple gets together. They're kind of together, they're seeing each other, you know, like, I mean, they haven't like fully hooked up yet, but like they're basically together. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I get bored when that happens, and I haven't read in 2 to 3 weeks. So that's not good. I'm gonna force myself to read because I really do want to finish this and just move on to something new, but that is my main issue right now. I don't know what it is. Like every time like a couple gets together, like it's not even early on, we're like, I'm less than 100 pages to the end, but it just does something and I become disinterested. No idea why. But right now there was kind of like the subplot where Libby is kind of being distant from Nadine, and Nadine's like, why are you doing this? Like, she's picking up on the problems that Libby's having with her husband, and she comes to find out that she's possibly wanting a divorce from her husband, and that's the reason why she went to this trip, just to get away from everything and I guess to plan her escape. So they get into a kind of argument, and now Libby like fainted or whatever, and she's in the hospital, and Charlie's comforting her, well, comforting Nadine, and that's just kind of where we are. Yeah, so a lot of Charlie and Nadine time. I'm not very excited about this relationship, to be quite honest. It feels like it's just like, I know it's supposed to be like, oh, they're so similar, like that's why they get along so well, but like literally they're so similar, they're basically the same person. I'm indifferent to this couple. I want to finish this because I want to finish the book, but not because I really care how everything turns out at this point. I'm a little bit nosy and I want to find out what happens with Libby and if she's divorcing her husband, but I feel like as soon as I figure that out, I'm just gonna be like, you know, not as interested, which I haven't read in like 2 to 3 weeks. So I mean, how much less interested can I get? But that's where I am. I think it's just my problem with couples getting together not too early. It's not too early. It's like just me. Like when you're not together for a long time. I just like that. I don't know. But I'm gonna try to finish this week for sure, because I need to finish a book. It's been so long since I finished a book and I just need to do this for myself. So that's what is happening. And that's my update for today. And I'll update you when I read more. I'm not reading tonight. I'm not doing that. But I will be reading this week. Hopefully. I'll keep you updated with anything new, anything interesting, and I'll let you know how everything's going. Okay. Bye. Hey, it's been about 2 days since we last saw each other, and I've just decided right now that I'm gonna push through. I was thinking about picking up another book, but I was like, no, I'm not allowing that to happen. I have less than 100 pages to finish this book. I'm gonna finish it, and then I can pick up something new and move on. It's 12:28. I was thinking I could read until like 1 o'clock and then just go to bed because I'm kind of tired now that I'm really cozy in bed. But yeah, I'll read a little bit. I want to get through this so bad, and I think I have my next read, because in my mind just like 20 minutes ago I was like, okay, I could pick up The Housemaid and I could read that right now. I feel like I'm in that kind of mood specifically for that book. I don't know why that just immediately came into my head, and I'm like, okay, I can pick that up right now. And I'm like, oh, wait, no, like I have to finish this book. So yeah, that's the plan. We're gonna power through. We're gonna finish that this weekend. Ideally, we're gonna finish that tomorrow. I'm pushing through. This is my official announcement that I'm pushing through and I'm going to finish this book. Let's check my Goodreads. Hold on. I just realized I wasn't recording. Story of my life. Anyway, I just checked out my Goodreads. I'm 8 books behind of my goal, which wasn't even crazy for this year, which is like literally bothering me so much. I'm pushing through right now. The biggest book slump ever since what? No. I don't know. Since I don't know when. The last book I finished was in August. We're in November. This is a problem. I don't know what to do. Yeah, so that's where I'm at. We'd have to read 12 books in 2 months, which honestly, based on this path that I'm on right now and this path that I've been on this entire year, it's just not gonna happen. My Goodreads goal is not gonna be accomplished this year, and that's just what I'm dealing with. The book slump is like really getting to me though. Like I don't understand why I have DNF so many books. It's really bothering me, and we're gonna push through. We're gonna push through. We can try to finish up the 12 books that I'm missing to reach my goal. The goal wasn't even crazy. That's the funniest part to me. It's the funniest part. That's where I'm at. That's what I'm dealing with. So I'm gonna read as much as I can so we can finish this and we can just move on. Yeah, I needed to ramble. I really did. I'll catch up with you later. Hey, so this is my non-spoiler review. We're gonna get into it. Nothing spoilery at all. In simple terms, was this book for me? Yes or no? No. I don't know if it's a trope. Definitely people have talked about it, but I don't like, what is it called? Slow burn. I love slow burn. I live for slow burn. That's part of the reason why I love Funny Story, because Funny Story was the epitome of slow burn. I felt like, listen, for me, this is what I'm saying. I like it when they get together in the last 25 pages. I personally get bored if they're together too quickly or if things like that. Okay. For me, they got together too quickly, and it just happens that I get disinterested when that happens. And they got together either a little bit before or a little bit after there was 100 pages of the book left. That may seem like nothing, but I wasn't for it. For this book, I just wasn't vibing with any of the characters. It wasn't for me. I didn't feel a connection to anybody. They try to flesh out the characters, but I feel like just nothing did it for me. I didn't feel connected in any way, shape, or form to any of these characters, and I more or less wasn't invested like that. I'm not gonna say that I wasn't into the book from the beginning, because I was. I was into the book for a little while, and then I got, again, disinterested. But I just felt like the conflicts in this book could have been easily resolved in a conversation. If you guys just actually talk to each other, this wouldn't even be a problem. And that's not even between the couple, that's just between Nora and another character. I just felt like there was a lot of drama about that situation, and it bothered me. Like, guys, just sit down, have a conversation like two normal adults, and we can get through this together. Like, literally 5-minute conversation, we would have been done with. I feel like that's what gets me. Like, guys, the conflict isn't that deep. We really could have gotten over this like a month ago, 2 months ago. It's not that deep. It's not. Nora is described as this cold character who everybody perceives to not have a heart, and that is drilled into us over and over and over again. And like, I get it. I didn't need to be told that over and over again. Like, you told me a million times, I didn't need to be told that again. Also, I would have preferred, plain and simple, a different love interest. I didn't vibe. All I can say is that I didn't vibe really well with any of the characters or the story. I got bored, and I just felt like it could be done so much better. I can't tell you how. I'm not an author. I just felt like this literally could have been a Hallmark movie. Like, this book was just giving Hallmark movie characters, and not in the good way. I don't know, not in the good way. Like, not very developed, surface level problems that can be solved in 5 seconds, and we can be already done with the story. You know what I mean? But that's really all I can say without giving away any spoilers. I gave this book a 2.8 out of 5 stars. This is my lowest rated Emily Henry book, and that's saying something because People We Meet on Vacation, I think, was rated a 3.2, and I didn't vibe well with that book either, but I have to say that I did like it more than this one. Like, at least People We Meet on Vacation had me questioning certain stuff about the book and certain characters and what could have happened in their past to impact their relationship in the present. I'm talking about People Who Meet on Vacation, but I'm just saying, like, I would have liked a little bit of, I don't know if I would call it mystery, but like a little bit of like a, should I pull my French and say je ne sais quoi? But, you know, I would have liked development. I'm a sucker for character development. If your characters aren't developed, I'm most likely not gonna vibe with it. I love fleshed out characters and fleshed out relationships with actual problems and worked out solutions that are earned, so you can feel a sense of, what's it called? Not relief. Relief is not the word I'm looking for, but you know, a sense of, not relief. I'll insert the word if I can think of it, but I can't think of the word right now. So that sums up our non-spoiler book lovers review. If you're looking for an Emily Henry book, once again, I will recommend Funny Story. Forever and always. Go read Funny Story. If this is where you're leaving off for today, don't forget to subscribe. I have my socials linked down below if you want to follow me anywhere else. And yeah. So if you're staying, let's get into the spoiler review. I just finished up my non-spoiler review. I don't know if you watched through that and you're here now, so I don't really know how to address you. But hello if you just skipped the non-spoiler review and come to the spoiler review. I didn't record my reaction to the final 100 pages or so. I just wanted to get it done and over with, quite frankly. I'm not a romance hater, okay? I don't hate love, okay? I just feel like I have to say that because I didn't like People We Meet on Vacation, but I did love Funny Stories, so it's not a me problem, maybe? I went into this thinking that I was gonna like book lovers more than People We Meet on Vacation, because to me, that was an easy feat. I didn't vibe well with People We Meet on Vacation. You can check out the video for that. That's a spoiler review if you want to see that. But for me, I really thought that it was gonna be the lowest rated Emily Henry book just because I hear so many good things about it. But book lovers proved me wrong. So Nora and Charlie got together before or around the last 100 pages. I love slow burn, and I feel like I could have done without them being together until the last 10 pages. I just get really disinterested. The characters didn't keep me there at all. I just felt as though I was done dirty. I didn't care about Libby. I didn't care about Nora. I didn't care about Charlie. I didn't care about anyone, quite frankly. Libby I had problems with. Just the fact that she kept complaining about Nora's job every 5 seconds. Like, come on. BFFR. I get she's supposed to be on vacation, but she has a job. She is a professional working woman. She knows her priorities. She knows what she has to do. She doesn't need you acting like a 5-year-old and saying, ugh, stop working. You said you weren't going to work this trip. Or complaining over and over and over again. And I'm pretty sure at one point, Libby said the things that Nora already knew that everybody else thought of her. And that just, like, hit her so much harder because it came from the sister that she loved so much. And she didn't think that her sister saw her like that. Like a cold-hearted, cutthroat, doesn't care about anyone kind of person. And I can't remember where that came up, but that came up somewhere in here. I can't remember if I talked about the hospital thing. I think we got there. I don't know if I told you what I thought about it. I was just interested in the drama. I really thought that Libby was gonna divorce her husband, and I was like, okay, I'm here for the drama. I want to know what happens. But that wasn't what happened at all. They just bought a house, and I think they bought it from the lady whose name was on the divorce lawyer card. That was a misdirect. I didn't catch that one. I'll give you that. 1 point, book lovers. 0 Nicole. Like, this is what I mean when I say that these conflicts could have been resolved years ago. Like, we didn't have to talk about this book. You could have, like, told me that you used to have problems about not letting Libby be her own person and kind of like helicopter momming her and taking care of all of her problems for her. But that's not what happened. Like in this book that happened after the whole hospital thing, they sat down, they had a conversation about Nora always wanting to be there to protect Libby, which is like a good gesture in itself, yeah, but she is not letting her become her own person and take care of her own problems. Nora's always there to take care of Libby's problems for her. And Libby tells her that that makes her feel like she thinks that she can't take care of her own problems. You could have said that 10 years ago. For real. This girl is pregnant with her 3rd baby, and she still can't communicate with her sister that she doesn't like when she does something. It just drove me nuts. And not in a good way. Either one of them. Because then you get to Libby not communicating with her sister. Yeah, we get the background detail that Nora and Libby haven't really been connecting the way that they used to, and they haven't been talking as much as they were. But just tell your sister you're moving out of the city. She wants to be treated like a big girl, but she can't tell her sister that she's moving out of the city. This is why your sister doesn't treat you like an adult. I know I just said I didn't like that, but I mean, and just, it was from the beginning. Nora's like, oh, like this trip is gonna help me reconnect with my sister and it's gonna be so fun, and oh my god, Libby's keeping something from me, like what is it? And she's like going nuts over and over and over in her head, and I'm like, dude, I frankly really don't care. Like, I feel like we were supposed to care about the relationship between Nora and Libby, but I just didn't get that. We get the backstory that Nora and Libby's mom had passed away, and Nora took over that motherly role for Libby because Libby was still in high school. Okay, Libby was 16 years old. She didn't need to become a mother. Like, Nora didn't need to become a replacement mother for Libby. She's 16. 2 more years and she's legal. I mean, Libby had 16 years with her mom. She didn't need someone else to take over that role. She needed a sister. I get the reasons why Nora did the things that she did for her sister, but it just bugged me, okay? It just bugged me. Like, guys, just tell your sister you're moving, and tell your sister that, what did Nora need to tell her? I don't know. Communicate. Also, the fact that Libby knew, she knew. I mean, come on. She knew that Nora liked Charlie and she just wasn't on board. Like, you're seeing your sister be happy for the first time in like 10 years, and you can't be happy for her even though it's a guy from the city that you don't really like. Okay, Charlie. Charlie is a copy and paste version of Nora. They're both viewed the same way. Cold, calculated, cutthroat. I would have liked a different love interest. They're the same person, different lore. I just wanted a little bit more variety between our couple. Listen, it was just like Nora falling in love with herself. because Charlie is her in male form. They have the same ideas. They want the same job. He's an editor. She wants to be an editor. They live in the city. It's just a lot of the same things. I wasn't there. I wanted something else. Like, I'd say I want a different love interest, but like, I can't tell you what kind of love interest I want for Nora because I just really don't really care that much about her as a character. And I can't get off this topic, but the fact that Nora threw a temper tantrum when she found out that her sister was moving out of the city. I get it. It's like, you're bonded sisters, like you've lived together in the same city for a really long time, but she's like, how could she leave me? The city, all of the places we go to in the winter, Rockefeller, whatever, window shopping, I don't know. I keep going back to the fact that Libby showed Nora the house and she was like, don't tell me you already bought this. And she was like, the sale goes through tomorrow. And then she like stormed off or whatever. Come on. And you always know that when a character tells you that they haven't cried since their mother died, that they're gonna cry in this book. I'm not a romance hater. I'm not a hater, I swear. I'm not a hater. I know you see me hate a lot, but I'm not a hater. I do love things. I do love books. I do. When they're well written, have good characters and character development and plot. But yeah, book lovers, what did you think of it? I rated it a 2.8 out of 5 stars. And yeah, I'm not giving up on my Emily Henry journey. I will be reading Happy Place and Beach Read. I've heard a lot of good things about Beach Read. I'm praying for Beach Read. That is the book that I have high hopes for because I've heard so many people say so many good things. Happy Place, I'm just kind of like in the middle. It could really be book lovers or kind of like people we meet on vacation level book. I heard some people liked it, some people didn't. I've heard more people say that they were disappointed with this book, but I don't have high hopes for that book. So Beach Read is, I feel like, my saving grace. So yeah, those are my thoughts about book lovers, and that's all I have to say about it. But that's it for this video. Don't forget to subscribe if you vibe with me, if we have some similar thoughts. I also have my socials linked down below if you want to go follow me anywhere else. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.